You know what? We're going to start with a story that is just absolutely incredible. Actually, some good news this morning. It's rare that we get to say everybody survived after a crash. This is the story. All 103 people aboard a Mexican airliner survived when the plane slammed into the ground shortly after takeoff. Aeroméxico Flight 2431 was packed with 99 passengers, 4 crew members when it went down and burst into flames. I mean, look at this picture. This was in northern Mexico. Investigators are still trying to determine what caused the crash.
At least 80 people were hurt in the crash. 49 of them were taken to the hospital. 2 people, including the pilot, are in serious but stable condition. Kris Van Cleave is tracking the latest developments. Kris, good morning.
Good morning. Really a miraculous survivor story. People showing up at the airport here for an Aeromexico flight were learning about the crash from us and certainly expressed concern after hearing about it. Now, Aeromexico's CEO says the plane was 10 years old, was, quote, perfectly maintained, and was last serviced in February. Mexico's Civil Aviation Authority says it could take months to determine the cause.
This is what emergency crews encountered when they arrived on the scene. The Embraer 190 largely intact, but on fire with some passengers still inside. The crash happened in Mexico's northern state of Durango. The flight was headed to Mexico City. Durango's governor says the plane made it off the ground, but was hit by a gust of wind as it left the runway, causing the plane to land abruptly on its left wing and forcing the engines to catch fire just a few hundred yards from takeoff. Lorenzo Nunez was a passenger on the plane. There was a strong explosion that hit the plane, he said. We don't know if it was a lightning bolt or a mechanical problem. We had just taken off and the plane fell. This woman explains how she escaped the wreckage with her son. She said, I was lucky enough to turn around and there was a hole somewhere. I unbuckled my son's seatbelt and we got out that way and jumped. Some passengers described people being trapped at the back of the smoke-filled plane and helping others make it out of the flames. Ross Amer is a retired airline captain.
It was a miracle that no one so far has fatally been injured. I would say this would have been a 1 in 100 chance that we had no fatalities.
Really remarkable. Embraer, the plane's manufacturer, has sent a team to the crash site. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico tells us they've not been able to confirm if any Americans were on board. Durango's governor says some of the survivors actually wandered back to the airport after the crash looking for their loved ones. Alex?
Kris, wow. Thanks. It really is a miracle.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And what a harrowing thing to go through for all those passengers. But, you know, as that woman said, she just turns around, there's a hole in the plane, and she manages to get out.
Takeoff is a tricky part of taking a flight.
Yes, the trickiest.